Hey guys, it's Lexa and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about some advice. This is some advice that I have kind of learned along the way, and I think that it might be helpful for some people. So let's get started. So the first bit of advice is don't buy for the sake of buying. So for example, if you see something and it's like the first good price that you see, I would wait it out, because you never know, like, oh my God, this is the only time it's going to be posted. I have to get it now. This is such a great price. I need to buy it. And then I realize later on that there's a much better deal. So just take your time. I feel like we're all guilty of doing that, especially collectors, because you think like, oh my God, this is such an amazing deal. I have to get it. Also think to yourself, like, why do I need this? Do I need this now? Can I wait? Can I prioritize something else? Number 2 is taking an inventory. So this would be probably something more for serious collectors. Like if you start having maybe 50 to 75 items plus, I would definitely recommend making like a Google spreadsheets. That's what I did, because my collection is huge. I mean, I literally have a storage unit full of the majority of my things. And I wanted to know what was in my storage unit. I wanted to have an inventory list of everything there, because I also do pay for insurance there. So I just wanted to have a list of everything that I owned. So I have a list of all the items that are Jim Shore. I have a list of all the items that are in the Couture de Force collection. I have a list of all the funkos I have, like just, every globe. So having a little bit of inventory can be really helpful to you, especially if you're like a serious collector and you have all this stuff. It's just good to know like what you have, and especially if you're moving, you want to make sure everything is accounted for. So it definitely is a good thing, in my opinion, to take an inventory. Next, when you buy something online, ask questions prior to purchasing. This is extremely important because we tend to blame the seller sometimes, and sometimes it can be the seller's fault. It's your job as the buyer, especially if you're buying something collectible or rare, just ask them. Can you double check? Are there any additional issues that might not be pictured? Just make sure you ask all these questions, because you don't want to get the piece or get the doll or get the item, regardless of what it is, and then you find all this other stuff. So just be very mindful of that. Majority of sellers that I buy from have like 99% ratings. That's another thing I want to make sure to add, is check the seller's ratings. But yeah, most sellers are very happy to answer questions, send photos. A lot of them are very sweet, especially if they have good ratings. So they would love to help you out. So piggybacking off of that, rating a seller is another really good thing to do, especially as a collector. If they're selling collectible type items, it helps people out. It helps your fellow collectors out. Is this person trustworthy? Is this person not trustworthy? How did they ship the item? Just things like that. Now, I cannot stress this enough. Keep your boxes. Keep your boxes. Unless you're like an out-of-box collector, you should keep your box. That's my opinion. I'm not going to force it on you. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. You just don't know with life. So for example, I had a really nice shelving unit, but I noticed that the top shelf was sort of like caving in, and it wasn't even that heavy, but I knew that if the top shelf fell, everything below it would fall. So I said to myself, oh no, I got to make sure to take all this stuff off. So I don't want to take it all off and just put it on a table in my room. I want everything packed safely in their boxes. So that's like one situation. Another situation could be moving. Maybe eventually you want to sell it, get its full value. Maybe you have to ship it somewhere. It's good to keep your boxes. I know it can take up a lot of space, but I really think keeping your boxes is just something you should really do. And also, this leads into the next thing. let's say an item doesn't have a box. This is something that it triggers me almost, because I see so many people complaining about this in Facebook groups. If something doesn't have a box, let's say the seller is selling it for a really good price, you want to buy it. You just buy it, wait for the item to come. It comes broken, or it's not protected in the way that you believe it should be protected. As the buyer, it's your job to message. I do this for every item. It is the second I buy an item that might be rare or extremely fragile, I message the seller immediately and I say, hey, thank you for selling me this item. It's gorgeous. I love it. Can you please make sure that it is protected in shipping? I am a collector. I've had issues in the past with packages getting ruined, so just please make it extra safe. There is nothing wrong with saying that. And that is what I see so many people in Facebook groups literally saying, how dare somebody ship it like this? Like, how dare someone, barely wrap this item, or let's say they put the label, the shipping label, on the collector's box. A lot of people, you would be very surprised, a lot of people don't know your item is collectible. Like, this has happened so many times. Like, somebody might find the item at Goodwill and want to sell it to make money. There's a lot of sellers out there that just sell a whole bunch of things, and one of your collector items that you consider a collectible, they don't consider a collectible. So you need to just let them know that's your job to do, because keep in mind, like I said 1,000 times, sometimes people don't know it's collectible. So that is just something that I wanted to say on that. Okay, this item is a Jim Shore piece. As a person who knows Jim Shore items, who knows these items, if I were to sell this, I would say Minnie Mouse, Disney Traditions, Jim Shore, and I would have the name of the item also written in the description or in the title. You can always tell when a seller doesn't know it's a collectible, because in the listing they would say Disney figurine, Minnie Mouse figurine. So keep in mind, you can usually tell when somebody doesn't really know things are collectible, because they'll label it as something like not what the actual item is. But you'll know it's a collector if they list every little detail about it. This is extremely important. Before, I was talking about like the shelving unit that I had in my room. Invest in good shelving. If you have all of your collectibles or your dolls or whatever it is that you collect, or your globes, your plates, if you have all of your stuff that you have put your hard-earned money into, you don't want bad shelving. You just don't. You just don't. Because something happens to one shelf, they all come down. And that's just the truth. You don't want to get like Walmart shelving. And there's nothing wrong with Walmart shelving, but sometimes you get what you pay for. You pay for $20 shelving, and something happens to it, you can't be shocked. So definitely do your research on the type of shelving that you're using, so nothing tips over, nothing falls, nothing breaks. It's all protected, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is space. So space for collectors is always an issue. It's an issue for me right now because my room isn't big enough and I have to have a storage unit, but that's a whole nother story. Space is always an issue all the time, especially for collectors, because things are always coming out. There are always new things coming out. And sometimes it's not the worst thing to part with something to make room for new items. People might be in the same home for their whole lives and can't really extend your home, especially if you only have one room. So my point is sometimes you might have to part with things to make room for better things. When you buy things online, ask the person to send you a photo of the item, especially if it's like a Facebook group. There's always issue in Facebook groups. People are always getting scammed. Sure that you ask for them to write their name on a piece of paper, the name and the date, so that you know that they own that item and there's no issues. I will not buy something from somebody, especially on a Facebook group, if they don't have that. So that's something I want to say. Also, goods and services is what you should use. Nobody should be asking you to buy something friends and family. Absolutely not. People might say, oh, well, I don't want to pay the seller fee. Okay, so add the seller fee to my account. I'll pay the seller fee, but I'm certainly not gonna do friends and family and, you know, get scammed. So don't do friends and family. Now, this is extremely important. This one right here, okay? And I might get a little heated talking about this one. The don't touch policy. Okay, this is something, especially for WDCC collectors out there. I know that's like me. You know, your Jim Shore pieces, especially the rare ones, okay? The do not touch policy. Make sure that everybody knows not to touch your items, okay? This is something that I just think is kind of important. Unless you want people touching your items, that's on you. I'm the type of person where it's like, don't touch my stuff. Just don't do it, okay? Mary, Sally, and Jenny come over, right? We're hanging out. They say, oh my God, your collection is so pretty. Oh my God, I love it. Let me see. Did you get something new? Oh my God, look at, oh my God. And they get their grimy hands all over your stuff, right? Or they drop it, right? Okay. It's very easy for an issue like that to happen. But if you're vocal and you say, hey, just so you know, I would really like you to not touch my stuff, you would be surprised. You would be very surprised at some people. They come over and they just touch all your stuff. They want to pick it up. They want to touch it. Don't want anyone touching it. It's better to be vocal and say that ahead of time. So yeah, like for example, there's a piece that is very valuable to me, very rare. It's a Gaston piece. I'll put a photo. He's probably my favorite piece that I have. I'll put a photo of what he looks like. Somebody picks that up. That gets chipped. Somebody drops it. It gets ruined. There's some issue. I don't want to have to replace the item and go to a funeral because you touch that. You know what I mean? So like, just be very, very vocal, especially some rare items. Just let people know. Okay. That's that. All right, next, you will see some amazing deals, right? So you'll see, I mean, I've gotten so many amazing deals. Like, for example, let's say there's a piece that's like $700, or $700 is what that piece is going for. Let's say that's what it goes for, but the person is selling it for $70. So you obviously want to hop on that because that's an amazing deal. You'll probably never find another deal like that. Excuse me. So don't message the seller and say, oh my God, this is such an amazing deal, especially for this item. Thank you so much. What are you doing? Us Disney people, we just talk too much. We talk too much. Shut up and buy the item. Because you just told that, by you thanking that person and being overly excited, you basically told that person that that item goes for more, and thanks for this great deal because it goes for more. What are you on? Like, shut up and buy the item. Like, you know what I mean? And I understand that there are so many people that want to let the person know, like, hey, just so you know, this item does go for more. But you're the one buying it, so don't be a fool and buy the item and just move on. You know what I mean? So, and you can be happy when you receive the item, because if you're never going to find it for that price again, don't be telling everyone it goes for more. So, so yeah, we talk too much, us Disney people. Okay, next. This is something that I almost hate to add in here, but it is very crucial to know, and that is just be very careful who you tell about some items that you have. So, for example, there are so many rare Disney items, so many Disney items that go for hundreds to thousands of dollars, right? And a lot of us serious collectors have items like that, okay? And so let's say you know, you're at a family party and Sarah's there. You don't know who Sarah is, but she's a friend of the family, right? She's going through some money struggles, and she hears that you got all these things worth thousands of dollars in your home. No, this is like extreme, but stuff like this happens. You know, people get things stolen. People try to cheat people out. Scams are happening. Just be very careful about who you tell what you have and what things are worth. Just be careful. That's all I want to say about that. The next thing, someone will always have more than you or less than you. So I've seen this in Facebook groups too, where like somebody will say, oh my God, just got this new piece. And like, let's say they only have 4 items in their collection, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Someone is just starting their collection. There's always someone else that will say something like, try to one up them and say, oh, look at my collection. Like yours, you know, yours will look like this too, like eventually, like, and like, I don't know, just like things like that. Like someone will always have more than you. Someone will always have less than you. Don't be judging. Don't try to one up. We're all in this together. We all love Disney. We all love collecting. Just relax, okay? I've seen so much like drama in Facebook groups, which is where I'm getting a lot of these ideas and advice and low-key rants from. This is something that my friend told me. So one of my friends gave me the advice that if, let's say there's a newer item that's coming out. So for example, my friend Anthony, he collects dolls. For him, it makes more sense for him to go to the store rather than trying to buy it online. If you're comfortable going to a store, then you're almost better off doing that to get a collector's item than possibly having to worry about it getting shipped, worry about it getting lost in the mail, or just even having a chance to buy it online, because maybe there's so many people that are trying to buy it online that you can't get it. So sometimes going to the store and waiting online can be the better option for newer collector items. Just kind of thinking of something now. As far as money goes, I know that is something that I tend to think about a lot, and I'm like, how can I save for this item? Because some of us are bad at saving, but a lot of collectors, like they might say like, oh my God, this is coming out, I have to get it, and then they don't save for it. So I would try to do some sort of budget where if you know something is coming out and you like it and you know you're gonna want to buy it, just set some money aside so that when the time comes, you're not freaking out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found some sort of valuable information. This is kind of like advice slash rant slash comments for Disney collectors. I don't even know what to title this video. I'm sure I'll figure it out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you got something out of it. But anyway, hope to see you again soon. Bye.